Well, my husband and I made the decision that I would retire from my corporate job last year. And we had big plans. We were going to do a lot of traveling. We love to travel. When we were in Greece, when we first got there, we were all walking to a place, and I was walking uphill, and I couldn't catch my breath. By the end, when we were in Rome, I was in bed, like the last few days. I couldn't participate in any of the sightseeing, and I just was not feeling well. So that very next day, we got home on a Saturday. We went into Mayo ER on a Sunday, and they began doing some tests. So I went into the CT scan, and about probably 15 minutes later, my husband and I were in the room. And the nurse practitioner and the nurse, they both came in, and that was the first thing inside that went, oh, I think something's wrong. And they sat down and they said, we found several spots throughout your body that we think are suspicious that need to be explored. And Paul, my husband, leaned over and goes,
"Are we talking about cancer?" And he said, "I'm afraid to tell you we are." And I was just completely unprepared for what that means. And at that point, all you have is a series of questions because it's just a very initial test. We have no idea what it means. We just know that everything kind of changed in that moment.
And they told us that it was an aggressive cancer, but that there really wasn't any hope, was what I got out of what they said.
The next day, we had just gotten the diagnosis, and we were sitting across the table from each other trying to eat breakfast, just kind of playing with our food. And I looked at Elizabeth's face, and she just said, "I'm just not ready to die." And it broke my heart that I had no power, and there was someone I loved deeply who just had not finished what she was called to do. And so at that point, we just leaned on unseen hope and beautiful friends and pastors and elders and a community that we had built out over 12 years. I mean, we have hundreds and hundreds of beautiful friends. And as we started connecting with people, people were showing up and praying for us and text chains, and the support was there. We had it when we needed it.
I had women that were pouring into me. And there was a moment that, and I know it was the Holy Spirit, dropped into my heart the name Lauren Main. She is a prayer warrior. Shortly, she was over at my house, sitting in the living room. We were praying together.
When she reached out to me, I really felt like she was asking for agreement. I just felt by the Spirit what the heart of her prayer was, like, will you stand with me? Will you agree with me for life? Over Elizabeth, I spoke life, light, joy, peace. I really felt like she needed courage to engage with the process that the Lord had called her to.
And we began. Within 2 weeks from diagnosis, I was in for my first session of chemotherapy. And so after the third treatment of chemo, we had a scan, and it was truly amazing news. Like, all of the tumors were shrinking. My husband and I were busting out laughing. I mean, we just were floored. We could not believe it. Clapping. God did it. I mean, there's no other explanation.
I think the prayers were the healing. We had these beautiful people that would show up at our house and pray with us. We had worship people come over and sing songs of prayer and gratitude toward the Lord. And it was through the prayer and the belief of others. I firmly believe that's how she was healed.
I feel like I have been spared, and I do have a lot of hope for the future. And there's no doubt in my mind that God has a plan for my life, for this part of my life. And I'm just very grateful for each day.